Imagine waking up to the sound of silence. No hum of engines, no familiar beeps of ship systems, just the eerie stillness of an unknown world. Your crew is alive, but your ship? Gone. Shattered into pieces across this desolate landscape. You have one goal: survive. But survival means more than food or shelter. It means building a new vessel from the ruins of the old. Can you piece together hope from scraps of metal and shattered dreams? Or will this alien world claim you forever? Stay until the end to discover how far humanity's ingenuity can go when faced with the ultimate test. Don't forget to subscribe for more thrilling journeys through space and time. The crash was violent, jarring every bone in their bodies as the hull tore apart like paper under unseen claws. When consciousness returned, it came slowly, dragging itself through layers of pain and confusion. The air smelled wrong, sharp, metallic, tinged with something organic yet alien. A red sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows over jagged terrain that stretched endlessly in all directions. The survivors emerged from the wreckage one by one, their movements stiff and cautious, scanning their surroundings with wide, uncomprehending eyes. They were not prepared for this, not truly. Training simulations had never captured the sheer enormity of being stranded on an alien planet with nothing but fragments of what once was. Each step away from the crash site revealed more devastation. Twisted metal lay scattered like discarded toys, some pieces still sparking faintly, others eerily silent. Among the debris were personal belongings, a cracked data pad, a torn uniform patch, a photograph curled at the edges. These remnants served as grim reminders of lives interrupted, futures stolen. Yet amidst the chaos, there was clarity too. Survival depended on action, not mourning. Someone pointed toward a cluster of larger components, the skeletal remains of the ship's engineering bay, and the group moved instinctively toward it, drawn by the possibility of salvation hidden within the rubble. As they sifted through the wreckage, the enormity of their task began to sink in. The ship had been their lifeline, their only connection to home. Now, reduced to mangled steel and shattered circuits, it seemed impossible that anything could be salvaged. But necessity breeds invention, and desperation sharpens focus. Each survivor brought their own expertise to the table, pooling knowledge and skills to assess the damage. Engineers identified critical systems that might still function, while medics tended to injuries sustained during the crash. Others scoured the area for resources, anything that could be repurposed or used to sustain life. The first night fell quickly, plunging the alien landscape into darkness. Around a makeshift fire fueled by scrap materials, the group huddled together, their faces illuminated by flickering flames. It was here, under the cold light of twin moons, that they made their decision. They would build a new ship, or die trying. The first order of business was assessment. Tools scavenged from the wreckage became extensions of their hands, probing and testing each piece of debris for usability. It was painstaking work, requiring both physical endurance and mental precision. Some parts were beyond repair, corroded by exposure to the planet's acidic atmosphere or warped by the heat of re-entry. Others held promise, their intricate designs hinting at functionality waiting to be restored. Each discovery brought a flicker of hope, quickly tempered by the realization of how much remained broken. One survivor, whose expertise lay in propulsion systems, knelt beside a mangled engine core. Dirt streaked their face, and exhaustion pulled at their features, but determination burned bright in their eyes. Using a portable scanner, they examined the damage, mapping out potential pathways for reconstruction. Nearby, another worked on salvaging power cells, carefully dismantling ruptured casings to extract usable components. Every movement was deliberate, every decision weighed against the looming specter of failure. Time was not on their side, resources dwindled with each passing hour. And the planet's harsh environment showed no mercy. Despite the odds, teamwork began to take shape. Roles formed organically, dictated by skill sets and necessity rather than hierarchy. Those with medical training tended to injuries sustained during the crash, improvising supplies from whatever they could find. Engineers collaborated on schematics, sketching plans in the dirt before transferring them to portable devices. Even those without technical backgrounds contributed, hauling materials or standing guard against unknown threats lurking in the wilderness. Together, they forged a fragile unity born of desperation and shared purpose. The days blurred into one another, marked only by the rising and setting of the alien sun. Progress was slow, but it was progress nonetheless. A makeshift shelter was erected to protect them from the elements, constructed from pieces of the ship's outer hull. Inside, they stored their growing collection of salvage parts, organizing them by type and function. The engineers debated endlessly over design modifications, their voices rising and falling in heated exchanges that often spilled into the night. Sleep came in fits and starts, haunted by dreams of home and fears of failure. Yet resilience prevailed. Small successes accumulated, bolstering confidence. A solar array harvested enough energy to sustain basic operations. Reinforced shelters protected against sudden storms that swept across the plains without warning. And though tensions occasionally flared, bonds deepened as well, forged in the crucible of adversity. Slowly but surely, the framework of a new ship began to take shape, rising from the ashes of the old like a phoenix reborn. As days turned into weeks, patterns emerged in their routine. Mornings began with inventory checks, ensuring no resource went overlooked. Afternoons were spent dismantling and repurposing, turning scrap into tools, tools into parts, and parts into solutions. Nights offered little rest, filled instead with whispered debates about design flaws and contingency plans. Sleep came in fits and starts, haunted by dreams of home and fears of failure. Morale fluctuated like the planet's unpredictable weather, sometimes buoyed by small victories, other times crushed under the weight of setbacks. One breakthrough came unexpectedly. While sifting through a pile of twisted alloy, someone unearthed a partially intact navigation module. Its screen flickered weakly, but the data stored within proved invaluable. Star charts, trajectory calculations, even fragments of communication logs all provided clues about their location and potential escape routes. This discovery reignited a spark of optimism, fueling renewed efforts to construct a functional vessel. However, challenges persisted. Power shortages plagued their progress, forcing them to ration energy use and prioritize tasks. Conflicts arose over which systems deserved attention first, leading to heated discussions that often spilled into the night. Yet resilience prevailed. Small successes accumulated, bolstering confidence. A makeshift solar array harvested enough energy to sustain basic operations. Reinforced shelters protected against sudden storms that swept across the plains without warning. And though tensions occasionally flared, bonds deepened as well, forged in the crucible of adversity. Slowly but surely, the framework of a new ship began to take shape, rising from the ashes of the old like a phoenix reborn. The planet itself seemed determined to test their resolve. Strange creatures emerged from the shadows, their movements swift and predatory. The group learned quickly to stay vigilant, posting guards around the clock to ensure safety. One night, a creature resembling a cross between a wolf and a serpent attacked the perimeter, its glowing eyes piercing the darkness. The ensuing struggle left several members injured, but the creature was driven off, its retreat marked by a haunting howl that echoed long after it disappeared. Such encounters became part of their daily reality, adding another layer of danger to an already perilous situation. Building the ship required innovation born of necessity. Traditional methods gave way to improvisation, blending science with raw creativity. Materials once destined for disposal found new life as structural supports, wiring conduits, or insulation layers. Everyday objects transformed into critical components. A cooking pot became a pressure valve, a spare oxygen tank morphed into a fuel cell casing, and strips of fabric woven into filtration systems. Nothing went to waste. Everything had value. Technical hurdles loomed large, demanding ingenuity and patience. The propulsion system posed the greatest challenge, its complexity rivaling that of any puzzle ever encountered. Multiple iterations failed before yielding results, each failure teaching valuable lessons. Trial and error became their mantra, guiding hands steady despite frustration. Breakthroughs arrived incrementally, a stabilizer here, a thruster calibration there, until finally, the engine roared to life, vibrating with untapped potential. Throughout this process, leadership evolved organically. No single individual commanded authority. Decisions arose from consensus, shaped by collective wisdom. Disagreements surfaced frequently, but resolution followed swiftly, driven by mutual respect and shared stakes. Trust grew alongside the ship, binding the group tighter than any formal structure could achieve. Their camaraderie became a force multiplier, amplifying efficiency and morale alike. The planet's environment continued to throw curveballs. Acidic rainstorms forced them to reinforce their shelters repeatedly, while sudden temperature drops tested the limits of their thermal gear. Yet these challenges only strengthened their resolve. Each obstacle overcome was a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. The ship grew steadily, its skeletal frame expanding to accommodate new systems and components. It was far from perfect, patchwork and jury-rigged, but it was theirs, a symbol of hope in a hostile world. Testing marked a pivotal phase, fraught with anxiety and anticipation. Initial trials focused on subsystems, power generation, life support, communication arrays, each evaluated independently before integration. Failures occurred frequently, exposing weaknesses invisible during assembly. Panels shorted out, seals leaked, circuits overloaded. Each malfunction demanded immediate correction, pushing the team to their limits physically and mentally. Yet perseverance paid off, refining systems until they functioned reliably under duress. Full-scale simulations introduced new variables, simulating launch conditions and emergency scenarios. The crew rehearsed protocols tirelessly, internalizing procedures until responses became instinctual. Equipment malfunctions tested resolve, forcing quick thinking and adaptability. One incident nearly ended catastrophically when a coolant line ruptured mid-test, flooding the compartment with toxic fumes. Quick action prevented tragedy, reinforcing the importance of vigilance and preparation. Despite these trials, progress remained steady. Confidence grew with each successful trial, bolstered by tangible evidence of capability. The ship stood ready, its sleek silhouette contrasting sharply with the surrounding wasteland. Final checks commenced, leaving no detail unchecked. Every bolt tightened, every connection verified, every contingency planned. Anticipation buzzed in the air, electric and palpable. Escape seemed within reach, tantalizingly close yet still uncertain. The group gathered around the ship one evening, their faces illuminated by the glow of portable lights. They spoke little, each lost in their own thoughts. Some stared at the stars, imagining the journey ahead. Others traced their fingers along the ship's hull, marveling at what they had created. It was a moment of quiet reflection, a rare pause in their relentless pursuit of survival. Tomorrow would bring the final push, the culmination of weeks of hard work and sacrifice. For now, they allowed themselves a brief respite, drawing strength from the bond they had forged in the face of adversity. Preparation for departure intensified, consuming every waking moment. Supplies packed meticulously, prioritized based on weight and utility. Non-essentials left behind, sacrificed for greater chances of success. Personal items weighed heavily in decision-making, emotional attachments clashing with practical considerations. Photographs, journals, trinkets. Each piece carried memories worth preserving, yet space constraints demanded sacrifice. Choices made reluctantly, accepted stoically. Final adjustments dominated activity, fine-tuning systems to perfection. Calibration routines repeated obsessively, seeking elusive margins of improvement. Redundancies added wherever possible, safeguarding against unforeseen failures. Backup plans layered upon backup plans, creating safety nets woven from ingenuity and determination. Attention to detail bordered on obsession, driven by knowledge that mistakes might prove fatal. Emotions ran high, oscillating between excitement and dread. Laughter erupted spontaneously, easing tension temporarily. Tears shed privately, acknowledging losses endured and sacrifices made. Bonds strengthened further, forged in shared vulnerability and mutual dependence. Farewells exchanged silently, communicated through glances and gestures. Unity solidified, transcending individual identities to form a cohesive whole. Readiness declared unanimously, commitment unwavering. The night before the launch, the group shared a meal together, their last communal gathering before embarking on the unknown. The food was simple, ration packs supplemented with edible plants they had discovered, but it tasted richer than any feast. Stories were shared, laughter mingled with tears, and promises were made to see this through together. As the fire crackled softly, its warmth a stark contrast to the cold vastness of space awaiting them, they found solace in the knowledge that they were not alone. Whatever lay ahead, they would face it as one. Launch day dawned bright and clear, skies devoid of clouds save wisps drifting lazily overhead. Crew gathered solemnly around the ship, final inspections completed, preparations concluded. Silence reigned briefly, broken only by distant winds whispering secrets to the land. Then, synchronized movements initiated countdown procedures, voices steady despite racing hearts. Systems powered up sequentially, humming softly as energy coursed through veins of metal and circuitry. Ignition sequence commenced, engines roaring to life with deafening intensity. Vibrations rattled bones, shaking loose lingering doubts and fears. Flames licked hungrily at the ground, carving scars into the earth beneath. Slowly, inexorably, the ship lifted off, ascending skyward on pillars of fire and faith. Gravity resisted stubbornly, clinging tenaciously until finally relinquishing its grip. Cheers erupted mutedly, drowned out by thunderous propulsion. Acceleration pressed bodies firmly into seats. Breaths labored against increasing G-forces. Instruments monitored vitals closely, ensuring physiological thresholds maintained. Exterior cameras captured breathtaking views, cratered landscapes shrinking rapidly, horizon curving gently upward. Atmosphere thinned gradually, stars emerging vividly against darkening canvas. Transition smooth, seamless, exhilarating. Freedom tasted sweet, intoxicating. As the planet receded into the distance, a profound sense of relief washed over the crew. They had done it. They had escaped the surface. Yet the journey was far from over. The vast expanse of space stretched before them, infinite and indifferent. Their destination remained uncertain, their path fraught with unknown dangers. But for the first time in weeks, they felt a glimmer of hope. The ship, born of wreckage and determination, carried them forward. It was imperfect, fragile even, but it was theirs. And it was flying. Orbit achieved, jubilation tempered quickly by reality checks. Immediate objectives shifted focus inward, assessing condition post-launch. Damage reports streamed continuously, highlighting stress points requiring attention. Microfractures identified, sealed promptly using onboard resources. Thermal shielding reinforced proactively, anticipating prolonged exposure risks. Repairs executed efficiently, teamwork exemplified under pressure. Navigation recalibrated meticulously, accounting for gravitational influences and orbital dynamics. Course plotted cautiously, balancing speed with safety margins. Fuel consumption monitored obsessively, optimizing trajectories to conserve precious reserves. Communication attempts initiated repeatedly, broadcasting distress signals across multiple frequencies. Responses awaited anxiously, hope mingling uneasily with uncertainty. Routine established swiftly, governing daily operations aboard temporary haven. Shift rotations implemented methodically, distributing workload evenly among crew members. Maintenance schedules adhered strictly, preventing minor issues escalating uncontrollably. Health monitored rigorously, addressing ailments promptly to maintain peak performance. Cohesion preserved deliberately, fostering supportive environment conducive to mission success. The isolation of space weighed heavily on their minds. Without the constant distractions of survival on the planet's surface, the enormity of their situation became impossible to ignore. Days stretched into monotony, broken only by the occasional anomaly, a meteor shower, a solar flare, or a strange signal picked up by their scanners. Each event was met with a mix of curiosity and apprehension, a reminder that they were far from home and surrounded by mysteries they barely understood. Yet, they adapted, finding comfort in routine and solace in the shared purpose that bound them together. Days blurred into weeks, monotony punctuated sporadically by anomalies demanding resolution. Asteroid fields navigated deftly, dodging collisions through precise maneuvers. Radiation storms endured stoically, shielding activated preemptively to mitigate harmful effects. Equipment malfunctions addressed swiftly, repairs conducted under challenging conditions. Resilience tested continually, proving robust despite relentless strain. Psychological toll acknowledged openly, strategies employed actively to combat isolation-induced stressors. Recreation periods scheduled regularly, encouraging relaxation and social interaction. Creative outlets explored enthusiastically, artistic endeavors providing therapeutic release. Reflection sessions held routinely, facilitating open dialogue regarding concerns and coping mechanisms. Support networks fortified intentionally, ensuring emotional well-being prioritized alongside physical health. Scientific curiosity pursued vigorously, leveraging downtime productively. data collected systematically, analyzing planetary phenomena observed en route. Hypotheses formulated boldly, challenging existing paradigms with fresh perspectives. Experiments conducted meticulously, validating theories empirically whenever feasible. Knowledge expanded exponentially, contributing meaningfully to broader understanding of universe mysteries. The crew found unexpected joy in small discoveries. A new star cluster charted, a previously unknown asteroid composition analyzed, or a peculiar radiation pattern decoded. These moments of wonder reminded them why they had chosen this life, why they had risked everything to explore the cosmos. Despite the hardships, the beauty of the universe never ceased to amaze them. It was a reminder that, even in the darkest of times, there was always something worth fighting for. Encounters with extraterrestrial entities introduced unexpected variables, complicating already delicate circumstances. Proximity alerts triggered suddenly, detecting unknown vessels approaching rapidly. Defensive protocols activated automatically, preparing contingencies defensively while initiating contact cautiously. Communication attempts met initially with silence, heightening apprehension significantly. First visual confirmation revealed sleek, unfamiliar designs exuding advanced technology prowess. Observations documented thoroughly, noting distinctive features distinguishing alien craft visually. Interaction ensued tentatively, gestures universal employed diplomatically to convey peaceful intentions. Reciprocal actions interpreted optimistically, suggesting mutual interest fostering cooperative exchanges potentially beneficial. Diplomatic negotiations progressed haltingly, language barriers presenting formidable obstacles overcome incrementally via symbolic representations and logical deductions. Cultural insights gleaned gradually, appreciating nuances shaping societal structures differently yet intriguingly. Trade agreements proposed strategically, offering technological advancements mutually advantageous. Trust cultivated deliberately, laying foundation future alliances promising enhanced survivability collectively. The encounter left the crew awestruck. The aliens, though enigmatic, seemed curious rather than hostile. Their technology was unlike anything the humans had ever seen, and the possibilities for collaboration were endless. For the first time, the crew dared to dream of not just returning home, but of forging connections that could redefine humanity's place in the universe. It was a daunting prospect, but also an exhilarating one, a chance to transcend their limitations and embrace the unknown. Alliance Forge provided strategic advantages immediately evident. Resource sharing facilitated replenishment depleted stocks critically, extending operational longevity substantially. Technological exchanges accelerated development projects stalled previously, integrating innovative solutions revolutionizing capabilities dramatically. Security enhancements implemented collaboratively, fortifying defenses comprehensively against potential threats looming ominously. Collaborative missions undertaken jointly, exploring uncharted territories, expanding knowledge boundaries exponentially. Discoveries multiplied exponentially, benefiting both parties reciprocally through shared achievements scientifically groundbreaking. Interdependence strengthened bonds profoundly, transcending initial skepticism, transforming relationships positively, enduringly. Synergistic partnership flourished remarkably, exemplifying cooperation interstellar unparalleled, inspiring admiration universally. Simultaneously, internal dynamics evolved organically, adapting seamlessly to incorporate external influences harmoniously. Leadership roles reassessed objectively, redistributing responsibilities equitably reflecting expanded scope inclusively. Decision-making processes refined democratically, incorporating diverse viewpoints constructively, enhancing outcomes qualitatively. Community cohesion reinforced intentionally, nurturing inclusive culture, celebrating unity, diversity simultaneously. The alliance brought a renewed sense of purpose. With the aliens' help, the crew repaired critical systems that had previously seemed beyond saving. New technologies were integrated into the ship, making it faster, stronger, and more resilient. The aliens shared knowledge of distant star systems, helping the crew plot a course that would take them closer to home. Yet, the relationship was not without its challenges. Misunderstandings arose, cultural differences clashed, and trust had to be earned through countless small acts of goodwill. But the rewards far outweighed the difficulties, and the crew knew they were better for it. Homeward journey commenced eventually, destination firmly fixed, minds resolute. Navigation recalibrated precisely, factoring gravitational assists, maximizing velocity, minimizing travel duration efficiently. Course corrections executed diligently, adjusting parameters, dynamically responding environmental fluctuations unpredictably. Progress tracked meticulously, milestones celebrated modestly, acknowledging incremental advancements persistently. Challenges persisted inevitably, testing resolved repeatedly. Mechanical failures addressed innovatively, utilizing combined expertise, resolving complications creatively, ingeniously. Medical emergencies managed competently, leveraging advanced treatments, restoring health effectively, timely. Psychological strains mitigated compassionately, supporting emotionally vulnerable individuals empathetically, consistently. Anticipation mounted steadily, anticipation palpable, manifesting physically, visibly. Conversations revolved nostalgically, reminiscing cherished memories fondly, eagerly. Preparations finalized thoroughly, ensuring readiness, transition reintegrating society smoothly, successfully. Gratitude expressed sincerely, acknowledging contributions collectively, individually, equally valued, immensely appreciated, deeply. The closer they got to home, the more real their journey felt. The alien alliance had changed them, broadened their horizons, and deepened their understanding of the universe. They carried with them not just the physical remnants of their adventure, the upgraded ship, the new technologies, but also intangible treasures, lessons learned, friendships forged, and a newfound appreciation for the fragility and resilience of life. As Earth's blue-green orb appeared on the horizon, a collective sigh of relief rippled through the crew. They had made it. Against all odds, they had survived. Re-entry sequence initiated cautiously, atmospheric friction heating hull intensely, brilliantly. Heat shields absorbed punishment admirably, protecting occupants safely, securely. Deceleration forces pressed relentlessly, tolerances pushed maximum capacity momentarily. Control maintained expertly, guiding descent trajectory accurately, precisely. Ground proximity alerted urgently, landing gear deployed confidently, assuredly. Touchdown executed flawlessly, impact absorbed, cushions absorbing shock gracefully, effortlessly. Engines silenced finally, replaced by the hum of Earth's atmosphere and the distant cheers of those awaiting their return. The hatch opened, and sunlight poured in, warm and familiar. The crew stepped out, their faces masks of exhaustion and triumph. Cameras flashed, reporters shouted questions, but they barely noticed. All that mattered was the feeling of solid ground beneath their feet, the smell of fresh air, and the knowledge that they were home. In the days that followed, debriefings and celebrations consumed their time. The world hailed them as heroes, their story told and retold in countless interviews and documentaries. Yet, for the crew, the true victory lay not in accolades but in the journey itself. They had faced the unknown, built something from nothing, and emerged stronger for it. As they parted ways, each carrying their own memories of the ordeal, they knew they would never forget the bond they had formed or the lessons they had learned. Humanity's spirit of exploration had been tested, and it had prevailed. But the experience left an indelible mark on each of them. Some struggled to readjust to life on Earth, finding the noise and chaos overwhelming after months of solitude in space. Others threw themselves into work, driven by a newfound sense of purpose to push the boundaries of human achievement even further. A few became advocates for interstellar diplomacy, sharing their experiences with the alien civilization and urging humanity to embrace cooperation over conflict. Their voices carried weight, their stories resonating with people across the globe. The technology brought back from their alliance with the extraterrestrials sparked a scientific revolution. Innovations once thought impossible became reality, transforming industries and improving lives. Medical advancements cured diseases previously deemed incurable. Energy solutions harnessed power more efficiently, reducing reliance on finite resources. Space travel became safer, faster, and more accessible, opening the door to new frontiers. The crew's sacrifice and ingenuity had paved the way for a brighter future, one where humanity could reach beyond its limits and thrive among the stars. Yet, not all was celebration. Questions lingered about the ethics of their encounter with the alien species. Had they done enough to ensure mutual respect? Could humanity truly coexist peacefully with beings so fundamentally different? These doubts weighed heavily on the crew, particularly those who had formed close bonds with their extraterrestrial counterparts. They remembered the cautious optimism of first contact, the painstaking efforts to bridge cultural divides, and the profound trust that had eventually blossomed. But they also recalled moments of tension, misunderstandings, and the ever-present risk of miscommunication leading to disaster. Debates raged within scientific and political circles. Some argued that humanity should prioritize self-sufficiency before venturing further into the cosmos, fearing dependence on alien technologies might weaken Earth's autonomy. Others believed that collaboration was the only path forward, insisting that isolationism would doom humanity to stagnation. The crew found themselves at the center of these discussions, their opinions sought and scrutinized. Though grateful for the opportunity to shape humanity's future, they couldn't shake the feeling of being caught between two worlds, neither fully belonging to Earth nor fully understanding the aliens they had befriended. Amidst this turmoil, personal reflections deepened. Each member of the crew grappled with their own identity, shaped irrevocably by their time stranded on the alien planet and their subsequent journey home. For some, the experience reinforced their belief in humanity's resilience and potential. For others, it highlighted vulnerabilities and flaws that needed addressing. One thing was certain: none of them viewed Earth, or themselves, the same way again. The vastness of space had put their lives into perspective, reminding them of how small, yet significant humanity truly was. As years passed, the memory of their odyssey faded from public consciousness, overshadowed by newer discoveries and challenges. But for the crew, the scars and triumphs of their journey remained vivid. Reunions became rare, scattered by careers and families. But when they did gather, old camaraderie reignited instantly. Around tables laden with food and laughter, they reminisced about the crash, the makeshift ship, and the alien allies who had changed their lives forever. Those conversations often turned philosophical, pondering the implications of their actions and the legacy they hoped to leave behind. One such reunion took place under a starry sky, far from city lights. The group sat in silence for a long while, gazing upward at the constellations that had guided them home. Someone pointed out a faint glimmer, a distant probe launched during their era, now venturing into uncharted territory. It was a reminder that exploration never truly ended. There were always new horizons to chase, new mysteries to unravel. In that moment, they felt a renewed sense of purpose. Though their roles had shifted, their mission endured: to inspire, to innovate, and to remind humanity of its boundless potential. And so, their story concluded not with finality, but with continuation. What began as a tale of survival evolved into a testament to perseverance, unity, and the unyielding desire to explore. If their journey taught anything, it was that adversity could forge strength, diversity could breed understanding, and hope could transcend even the darkest voids. Humanity's destiny lay among the stars, and thanks to their courage, that destiny felt closer than ever. If you've been inspired by this epic saga of survival and discovery, don't forget to subscribe for more thrilling adventures through the cosmos. Until next time, keep dreaming of the infinite possibilities awaiting us beyond our world.